Good morning, everyone. I'm driving back from Anaheim this morning to get to church in time to be able to preach. So I want to answer some questions that have been coming in for our podcast, Idleman Unplugged. So if you're not tuned into Idleman Unplugged, you can subscribe to iTunes or on Podbeam. And it's basically talking about truth in our postmodern culture, controversial topics, underscore with love and grace. That's really the important thing. And actually, I'm going to speak right now on convicting a contentious heart. So, and you could probably check out that sermon on our website. But the question that's been coming in, especially this time of year, we're in October, is it okay to dress up for Halloween? Now, this could take a long message, but let me just get to the key points. Number one, you have to look at the history of Halloween. You look at pumpkins, for example. They were actually carved before pumpkins. Turnips, potatoes, they were carved, and they would put them out to ward off evil spirits. So right there, not a real good idea. And then dressing up, they would dress up, and they would go door to door, trick or treat, different things. And they would say that they're going to pray for the spirits of the deceased. They would also get, items, apples, and food and stuff. It is a day that Satanists celebrate. So in a nutshell, it's not a good holiday. So I mean, your own convictions. If your kids dress up as Jesus or Joseph and Mary and they go to a harvest festival, I think we have to just be careful and not rush to a judgmental spirit. But again, I'm not a fan of Halloween, but it depends. Dressing up as witches, warlocks, or dressing up and going out and trick-or-treating. It's just remember what the holiday stands for. Now, however, there is a thought to redeem the theme of Halloween. You focus on what Christ did on the cross. So I can't avoid all the scary decorations with my kids. We celebrate what Jesus has done, and we don't allow this darkness to penetrate our hearts. We don't really celebrate Halloween, but I'm not gonna, feel guilty if I get a pumpkin and I cook some pumpkin seeds and put some salt on it. And that contentious, legalistic heart, they'll say, "How can you have a pumpkin in your house?" And so we just, on one end, it's just out of control. People just don't have anything to do with this time of year. Don't have a pumpkin. Don't put up fall decor. And then the other side, which is kind of disheartening, is there are a lot of Christians. I mean, I see a lot of people on Facebook dressing up, putting on, "Look how cool this is," and they're dressed as a witch, or the celebration of the dead, and their faces like that new movie that's out for kids, which is not, it shouldn't be watched, of course. But, and then you have this other side where, wow, I mean, they're really celebrating this holiday. So I think that's why there's a lot of confusion, because you have to let people mature in their faith. I know 15 years ago, when we were married, before that, but with our first child, we dressed her up, something nice, and then just went to our in-laws' house and did something fun, and maybe had her carve a pumpkin with me, and it was just a good time, a father-daughter time. I wasn't carving the pumpkin to ward off evil spirits. It's like you have a Christmas tree. Didn't you read Jeremiah? Yeah, but the context is bowing down to the tree, decorating it. This is our idol. And so, guys, we just need to be careful. On one hand, we've got to get rid of the contentious, arrogant hearts, and you'll see people put comments and they start coming against things like this. They're so arrogant and contentious that I'm really sad for them. It doesn't upset me. It's to be expected. So the long story short is, can your kids, can they dress up for Halloween? Well, sure they can. And I wouldn't call it Halloween. We don't celebrate Halloween. If we're gonna dress up, we don't. It's been a while. We get together with friends. But hey, we're gonna celebrate what Christ did on the cross. We're gonna enjoy some pumpkin seeds. And if we want to carve a pumpkin and make pumpkin pie, we're not gonna let the Pharisees, ruin that. So that's the problem, is there are polar opposites. Christians should be able to celebrate and be in the midst of it and party, and I just don't see any reason for Christians to celebrate Halloween, dress up as things that are demonic. Trick or treat, the history behind that, it's not real healthy. Not to mention the type of food they're getting. That's not healthy whatsoever. So if they would pass out apples and anyway, I'm getting off track here. So I wish I could answer it because I believe this falls under all things are profitable but not lawful, and also letting your conscience convict you. We've got people at the church that I pastor. They dress up, they celebrate it. They're not going to hell. They're not worshiping Satan. So that's, but I don't agree with it. I don't think we should. Now, churches that have harvest festivals as an alternative. What shocks me is the number of people who come against that, and your church is celebrating Halloween. We don't do them, at least not right now, maybe in the future. But to give somebody an alternative where they hear the gospel, where they're in an environment where it's encouraging, maybe if you're going to dress up like a Bible character and get behind the story of David. And so that's what happens. Here's to sum it up. I guess I could have said this earlier. You have on one side the people, Christians in the church, who compromise, and they are doing things they should not be doing, and celebrating, dressing up as witches, why they put skeletons on their house, or black magic, or spiders, or evil pumpkins outside. A little shaky here, I got off the road. I don't know. I mean, I can't, my heartbeat does not beat with Halloween. But on the other side, you've got the contentious Pharisee who is very judgmental about anything. And they're just, if you've got a pumpkin, you're on their hit list. If you got to celebrate Christmas, you're on their hit list. So, I don't know what to say to that. You just got to let the God sort it out, and just make sure you have a broken, humble heart. I mean, I see things that break my heart when I go to events or by certain Christians. I just want to make sure I come with the heart of understanding, not a gavel in my hand, but at the same time, hold to the truth, preach the truth, but make sure I have a broken heart for people. So hope that helps. I know I probably didn't answer the question because it's up to you, but I would steer clear of celebrating Halloween. So we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.